Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro. It's time to review The Vast of Night. It's directed by Andrew Patterson. This is a indie sci-fi film that has been sort of making waves after its release on Amazon Prime. We saw this movie because we look at Metacritic, and if Metacritic likes the movie, oftentimes we will just watch it. The cast and crew, you're really not going to know anybody from there. This is like a super low budget movie. And I think it was for under $1 million, which is surprising having seen the film. Like they really get like every dollar out of that, I think. I felt very immersive. As a sci-fi movie on a budget, this definitely doesn't go for the fireworks. This is a slow burn, a build-up sort of crescendo movie that borrows from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, sort of in the way that Midnight Special did. The director did not shy away from like showing what he's made of in directing his first film. This is an opportunity that, you know, he must have said, this is not going to go to waste. I'm going to like show people that like I am somebody. If you don't like this movie, you're at least going to walk away being impressed by my film and curious about what I do next. Yeah, there were a lot of really interesting stylistic choices, whether it be like the cinematography or the editing or just like the narrative structure. Like there are a lot of risks here. It's definitely a film that goes for the experience. How is it going to immerse you in this story? How is it going to tell a story that's already been told in a fresh new way? The plot is not special. What you take away from the movie substance-wise won't be particularly much, but it's really about like how much you enjoy the way that you're being told this story. Sometimes it feels very much like a campfire story that you're being told, where it really takes its time to get there, but you're just you're a little mesmerized in it. If you can put up with really long takes and monologues, just pages of dialogue, I guess, stuck in one shot in one scene, and then I think you'll find it rewarding. I found it actually very rewarding. The anticipation that was being built, it gave me some chills in some scenes. Like it gave me like a little bit of heebie-jeebies. It did something for me. It's so grounded. I think that's what makes like the end worth it. There's so much tension. If this was a movie that had visual effects here and there, then it wouldn't be surprising when anything happens. The thing that you're curious about is like not seen, freaking barely. Listening to the monologues really kind of lets your imagination go for it. And there's that one of them, the middle one, where it fades in and out of blackness. Yeah. During the speech, which I thought was like really cool. Like I really liked that. I liked how in the blackness you're just left like thinking about the story even more. It's a movie about like wondering what's out there. There's something in the sky. We don't know what it is, and you're on the edge of your seat like trying to figure it out. You're getting butterflies. You're wondering like what is this? I'm not going to say it's going to be an edge of your seat movie for everybody, and I would definitely recommend not watching it when you're tired, because it's easy to be like sort of in a listless state, especially like when, you know, it goes to black and you're just listening to this guy talk over the radio. Don't let your attention slip away from you, because it can be slow. I think you just try to soak it up. Like some of the dialogue may feel excessive or it might go on too long for your taste, but that's just what the movie's giving you. So you got to just try to accept it. Yeah, I mean, I got the sense that some of the monologues like could have been trimmed down, like sure. And I appreciate that this is a first film. He doesn't really feel like he's mimicking other filmmakers, maybe like, you know, Spielberg story-wise, but like stylistically, it feels very much like this is a really unique voice. It almost feels like he could fall in line with people like Trey Edward Schultz or like Damien Chazelle, who there's no subtlety in, you know, how much they want you to like experience their movies with like the camera work, you know, with doing long takes that call attention to the filmmaking itself. They're not trying to hide their magic tricks at all. In this film, you're watching it on like an old TV for like a lot of it. It keeps cutting back to that. There are some choices that are made. I don't really know if I felt like that did anything for me. No, yeah. There are some choices that are made that they're just like very like deliberate, and you might not agree with them. I don't know how they sat with me exactly, but they're really like telling you like this is what the story is, like this is what the movie is, and I'm going to show you in like a very obvious way. I wasn't totally on board with like the first 20 minutes of this movie where the characters are like talking back and forth. You're sort of getting to know them. You can't understand what they're saying. You can't understand what they're saying, which is a little bit of a problem. The guy has like a cigarette in his mouth the whole time and he knows it. The director said that they were sort of thinking of Linklater during these moments, and obviously you have two characters who are going back and forth. There's long takes, but to me, like, the substance of the conversations wasn't that interesting. Like, some of them were, like, you know, getting to know these people. Like, sure, in those moments, sometimes I felt like the filmmaking put me at a distance. Like, you're tracking,
it could do that.
Down by the street at a distance from these characters who are looking away from the camera. But you're supposed to be focusing on their conversation, but you're kind of focused on the filmmaking.
You're focused on the atmosphere. I'm trying to hone in on what these characters are saying because I'm assuming it's important. But at the same time, everything like the camera's telling me to focus on is not really like the exchange of the conversation. It's interesting at a filmmaking level, but the story, the substance, if you're looking for that, like something original in terms of what the plot like is, it does not give you that.
I loved the shot in the middle where the camera goes like from her like phone thing and it zooms across town.
Yeah,
it glides across the floor, which reminded me of like spectator mode in Call of Duty for all of you who used to play COD back in the day. And it goes all the way across the town, like zigzags through the gym, comes out the window, goes back. Like, I didn't know how they did that.
That's the part where it's like, you had a $1 million budget?
Yeah, it looked like did you stitch some of this together?
Because I'm sure some of it was stitched, for sure.
I mean, that's expensive to do. It was kind of like a little bit of a magic trick. I think this director has a big imagination, loves exploring the possibilities of what you can do with the camera, you know, him and the cinematographer. And in the same way, like, it fits the style where, you know, this is a movie about like curiosity, and, you know, you have like a style that feels very boundless. Obviously, I'm excited for what the director does next, but the cinematography is really good. The score is really good. Like, I hope that he brings on these people, kind of like Trey Edward Schultz did. He uses the same cinematographer. Like, he brings on this little crew and they all like go together and they make great new films.
And the difference between him and Trey Edward Schultz would be what would hold me back from like loving this film, or maybe, you know, the films he does in the future, if they're kind of like this, just my preference. Feels like Trey Edward Schultz's movies, he's telling them for like an emotional reason. Like, he has something he needs to like say or express. And this one is like, I want to just tell this story because it's like cool. Like, kind of the way that Tarantino tells his stories. Like,
I don't know.
He wants to just make a movie because he likes like the movie. He likes making a cool story that's, you know, it's a sci-fi, but we're going to do it this way. Like, it's just sort of a style over substance kind of thing. So that's the focus of this movie. And, you know, you just know what you're getting into. I mean, I can see a lot of people watching this movie being bored and then leaving empty-handed. And that's just what it is. Like, what are you going to do?
It didn't really feel like there was that much character development even.
Yeah.
Like, not at all.
And
really.
in my opinion, you could have made the story more powerful, like, if you wanted to go there with it, if you wanted to do something with the story, like say something, like, I would have found it more powerful. You know, the filmmaking alone makes it worthwhile, makes it a really good trip.
I understand like his decision to make the film that he did because it puts him on the map. Like, if you see this movie, this guy will be on your map.
This is definitely an exciting director. I'd give this an 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10.
I'm going to give the same number as you.
Yeah, I know you are.
8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. And thank you for subscribing.
What do you see in the sky?